everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I'm coming on live today because today it's a very sad day for the United States, for all women in the United States. I want to make this video and I want to go through what happened and what all these implications will be now that the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. And basically it means the abortion rights for women, so the protection of the abortion rights for women. And this is now, we already knew that because this was leaked a month ago, that the Supreme Court will overturn the Roe versus Wade, so the protection of the abortion for women in the United States. So now it is overturned. Now immediately women are all in the streets, so they're like and everybody's in front of the Supreme Court, both sides, both pro-life and both pro-abortion, actually abortion rights, let's say it that way. For me, I do not have any words for that. There's so many issues with that, not only for healthcare, from the healthcare perspective, from freedom perspective. So it is beyond my mind how the government can rule over your body. And this is not about men at all. It's just about women. So men don't have to face that anything. But the women, and now their body is in the hands of the local governments. So what it means is that when the Roe versus Wade is overturned, so the women do not have abortion, when it's overturned, it means that now it is in the state's hands of creating these laws that bans the Roe, actually bans the abortion already before, because we already knew that after Trump came in and filled the Supreme Court with the majority of the extreme sides of religious perspectives in the Supreme Court, which we all know the law and religion as two separate entities, right? So now they have the majority, and we all knew that this will be with Barrett and with Kavanaugh, and particularly with these, like super on this one side. And now they are in the Supreme Court, and we already knew that they will overturn Roe versus Wade. So now, before that, even before it was leaked, now the certain 13 Republican states have already put a law in their state, so that if it will be overturned, then they will actually literally completely ban. And in those states, which I can also tell you about those in a minute, these states even went so far that will allow, if a woman will get impregnated by her rapist, somebody will rape a woman, and that women will not be able to do abortion. Or if a woman has miscarriage, this is critical. This is healthcare. This is, I just don't know what to say. This is healthcare. And I will also give you an example just now. Because if you have a miscarriage or an incomplete pregnancy, this means that if the baby dies inside of you, there's an incomplete pregnancy. Then if the baby will not be removed, the body, the women, gets infected. The baby is dead inside. Imagine you have a dead body inside. This must be removed. I mean, this is healthcare 101. Then this woman will die with sepsis. I mean, in those cases, abortion it's a must. And because of this, if now the states bans it, then these women will also die. Or if a young girl will get impregnated by the stepfather, will rape by her stepfather, by somebody, by even we saw, there was also news a few days ago, it was last week, somebody's a women's young girl's colleague in Walgreens was literally, made a move on her. And she literally said multiple times that she felt uncomfortable with that to her boss. And guess what happened? He didn't rape her, but he killed her. So these things are so important. So if there's these young girls get impregnated by stepfather, by rapists, they will not have the right now, today, as of today, in some certain states, to get the abortion. Or if a woman has a miscarriage and a baby is dead inside, because what people don't understand is pregnancy is a very, very serious matter, a health matter. Pregnancy is very, very serious health scenario. A woman or the baby or both can die at any stage of the pregnancy, before and after. There's something called when a baby borns and after the birth, there's a name for that, I forgot, but baby can die out of the sudden. There's no chance, there's no guarantee that the baby will also be alive. I mean, this is healthcare 101. I mean, every single person needs to understand that. So, and in any stage of this, even at birth, a woman can die and the baby can die. Everything can go wrong during the entire process of the pregnancy. So saving lives, this pro-life. And what about the women? What about the women? Is she not alive? Is she not a person? Is she not living, human being? Thank you, Lisa. Hi. So wonderful that you're here. So this means that if a doctor cannot save the woman who is about to die because the baby is dead inside, and if the doctor cannot save the woman's life, what about her life then? Why is the baby? I mean, of course, a baby is important. Every life is important. A man, a woman, a baby. But what about the women? If the woman is dead, the baby is already dead, and the woman is dead, what about the man? What about the man's wife? I mean, what about that? So how narrow-minded? So we are going today in the United States back to medieval times. Like, instead of going forward, I cannot believe that in the United States we are going into middle age. This don't get confused with the pro-life thing or the Republicans. I don't care about the party. I don't care about all these Democrats. It's also a lot of mess. Because of them is just why we are in this situation. They couldn't get their acts together. They couldn't get their acts together so that the Senate has the Democratic majority, and now the Supreme Court is filled with all the extremists, religious groups, like with cultish backgrounds. And now we have all the situation that affects all women. Think about that. All women and all these pro-life, women. If you even never had a pregnancy, or if you're not even, if you're a woman, who can tell you when you go down to the street in this day and age where outrage, everything is out of control. Everybody rapes each other. Everybody abuses each other. In this day and age where nobody is safe, girls are killed every single day. I cannot believe that these days there's so many girls, young girls being killed. So there's no guarantee for us, for women, when we walk down the streets, that we don't get raped or, God forbid, get raped or get killed or whatever. So even if you're pro-life, yes, but how do you know that you won't get raped by somebody, or, God forbid, of course. But this is another inequality in healthcare, which you all know. That's all I'm in for. Why is it inequality in healthcare? Because I'm telling you, because people who still wants to get abortion, if they want to end for whatever reason, it's their right. It should be only between the husband and the wife, or the girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, or the partners. It's nobody's business. It is nobody's business than the two people. That's it. It's their private life. And even if they would want to go out somewhere, or want to get the abortion, or end the pregnancy, or get reproductive, it's also not just because of abortion. It's because of it's also about reproductive rights, right? And the health about it. It's all about that. Everything regarding reproductive rights, even contraceptives, that's also included. Imagine that. So even, let me just go back to that. Let me just put a note in there, contraceptives. And even if the women would want to get the reproductive care, that women or that family, if they're rich, they can go to another state or another country and still get it. Now I will give you an example for that. Cope House freedom wins. So, and what that is that people in the United States still, the poor people, the poor women, the girls, people of color, anyone who can't afford, even people, millions of Americans can't afford healthcare. So these people will not be able to go to another state or go to another country to get their health care needs met. This is just beyond my mind. What is going on in here? What's next? Contraceptives even. What is next? Are we now, women will be, what's next? Will become a I don't know, child production machinery? Is that like the movies? Is that where this goes? What is next? I just cannot believe. So let me give you all examples and that you understand where this country is going. And as you all know, when the United States does something, then the entire world will follow. How horrific is that? Why we already see in Europe it's so many dictators all over the globe right now. So what kind of implications will that have? Just forget about the globe. I mean, just think about this for a second. So did you also know that in April, in 2021, last year in April, nobody talks about it. When I saw it in the news, I read it in the news, I just couldn't believe it. Did you know that in Florida, in April 2021, last year, the Senate overnight, in a very shady, like a snappy, quickie bill voting in Republican majority Senate in Florida, decided and passed the bill that the athletes, the trans women, like girls, young girls in college or in high school, they are able to, they need to, or the bill is passed, that their genitals will be checked. That's the Senate bill by Republicans. Can you believe it? So that is the reality, and nobody talks about it. It is not for boys. Apparently they want to make this transgender, like the equality and all that, but the guys, the transgender guys, will not, the genitals will not be checked. The transgender girls in high school, their genitals will be checked. In sports, in Florida, the Republican senator passed that. By the way, let me know what you think about DeSantis. But DeSantis, I am following him since last year, and especially when all these bills are passed. I'm following since 2 years now, 2.5 years. He is way worse than Trump. And I tell you, Trump wasn't even a big deal. DeSantis is, watch that guy. Watch that guy. Watch what's going on in Florida. It's beyond imagination what sickness is coming out of Florida. That, and also let me tell you, so I want to tell you quickly about the women who went, United States couple from Seattle, I believe. So let me tell you what happened to her. So Andrea Prudente, she's 38, and Jay Wildreyer is 45, and they are from Seattle, Washington. So, sorry about that. So in June 5th, so she's pregnant. On June 5th, they're going to Malta for a baby moon vacation, okay? So there on the trip, she has a miscarriage. And she started bleeding, and she has a premature rupture of the amniotic sac, and the separation of the placenta happened. And she's only 16 weeks pregnant, 16 weeks. So her amniotic sac got a rupture, premature rupture, and the placenta separation occurred at week 16. She had severe bleeding, and then she went immediately to the doctor, and in Malta, the law was that they denied it. She couldn't get a life-saving abortion because the baby is dead. The life has to be saved. That's the doctor's job. The baby is already dead. How dare somebody, politician or whatever the politics, decide whose life the doctors must save? That's the doctor's job. Then, because it was denied, she's in a hospital, she has bleeding, she tells her husband, and I'm not kidding, I'm reading you from the Independent here, an article, okay? She tells her husband to punch her so hard on her belly so that she can abort the baby. That's what is happening. This will, can you imagine this? But this is reality. But then they are flying, like in medical emergency, they flew or they would be flown to Spain, and then she was able to terminate immediately the pregnancy, and the doctor said her physical condition is stable, so she's safe. That's critical for a doctor. The next step is she had to terminate the pregnancy, he said. From a medical standpoint, that's basically be the end of it. Exactly. How dare somebody interfere in that? It's between the doctor, the women, and the man, the father of the baby, or the man, women, wife, husband, whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend. It's between these three. Nobody else can come in between. Period. Especially not politics, like what is going on. So what is now happening is that I'll tell you, so these states, the 13 states who had trigger laws already in place, and I was following that just before, because they knew, because the Supreme Court is now in extremist side, then they knew that the Roe versus Wade will be overturned. So because of that, they had immediately put in the trigger laws that to ban abortion. And now I tell you which states those are. Let me just make this larger. Okay. Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky. Okay, so these 13 states had trigger laws, and now this means, and these trigger laws allowed the rapist or allowed or actually prohibit or banned the girl or the women who get impregnated by a rapist not being able to get the reproductive care she needs. So we will see that the states who had this trigger laws will full force go for it. But what did Massachusetts? Massachusetts immediately, like in few seconds, like a few minutes after we got the breaking news that Roe versus Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court, Massachusetts immediately, our governor, because I'm in Massachusetts, our governor, Charlie Baker, he's a Republican though. Charlie Baker is a Republican. So our governor in Massachusetts signed an executive order to protect access to reproductive health care services. That's one. And then also the other thing, that 3 states, California, Washington, and Oregon, So these governors signed immediately a West Coast offense that comes from the NFL, from San Francisco's 49ers, used to win 3 Super Bowl titles between 1982 and 1989. So that names come from that. So what that means is, so they created a safe zone, and I will read you from, this is from Now This. So, shortly after the Supreme Court issued a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade on Friday morning, today, Galvin Newsom, Jay Inslee, and Kate Brown, the Democratic governors of California, Washington, and Oregon, respectively, issued a joint video pledging to band together to protect abortion access in their states. The trio referred to their efforts as the West Coast offense, a reference to the famous offensive play calling strategy that the NFL's San Francisco 1949ers used to win 3 Super Bowl titles between 1982 and 1989. The governors of California, Oregon, and Washington today issued a multi-state commitment to defend access to reproductive health care, including abortion, contraceptives, and committed to protecting patients and doctors. Very critical. Patients and doctors against efforts by other states to export their abortion bans to our states. The three governors' offices wrote in an accompanying press release. So what I will also tell you is that because the 1 month ago that this overturn was leaked by somebody, immediately some companies created or ensured their employees that if the Roe versus Wade will be overturned indeed, then they will allow or they will pay the employees if they need to get their reproductive health care needs met in another state. So they will pay for their reproductive health care, for the travel costs. And these companies, and this is not a comprehensive list, but these companies are Amazon, Apple, BuzzFeed, Citigroup, Comcast, Dick's Sporting Goods, JP Morgan Chase, Amazon, Lyft, Levi Strauss & Co., MasterCard, Meta. So I want to read you what this is all about. Many of the nation's largest, this is again from Now This. Many of the nation's largest companies announced they will cover the travel expenses for the employees to access abortions as the Supreme Court struck down Roe versus Wade. Most companies' health insurance plans currently cover abortion, but companies are now expanding their benefits to cover the cost to travel for an out-of-state procedure. When a draft of the court's opinion was leaked last month, companies such as Amazon, Starbucks, Microsoft, and Apple assured their employees they would cover travel expenses if Roe was overturned. On June 24th, after final ruling was handed down, more companies followed suit, including Disney, Netflix, Paramount, Sony, and Comcast. Here is a non-comprehensive list, as I just mentioned to you, of some of the companies that have so far, and we expect definitely much more, offered to cover employees, abortion, travel-related expenses going forward. Okay. So, yeah. So this is I don't know what to say. I mean, I said everything. It's now 30 minutes. I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for all of you who have been here. And let me see if if you said something. Few people wrote it and then deleted it. I know Lisa was here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of you who have been here, and I really appreciate it. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I will go live much often because that's so much easier for me. And I absolutely have zero time for doing all this editing, which takes from me like a half day, full day to edit all these videos. So I'm planning to go live whenever I see a situation that I need to discuss. I want to share with you also my opinions, and I want to hear from you too. Feel free to comment and feel free to chat with me in these lives. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you think. What are your comments? Again, I want to emphasize this. I do not care anything regarding any party. I'm not affiliated with any party. I don't care about any party. Democrats, Republicans, also all like a joke. Both of them are a joke. And absolutely, for me, I care about people. I care about equality. I care about equality in healthcare, about people's lives and freedom. And nobody has the right. Nobody has the right to rule over somebody else. I mean, I just cannot believe this is exactly like 100 million % against what I am standing for as a human being in this world. Nobody can tell me what to do. No one can order me anything. So it is beyond my mind. Imagine you are sick and you are denied healthcare access. The same thing with all these vaccinations and stuff like that. This is beyond my mind. I just cannot believe this. But nothing is happening to men. All the women's in these, I mean, we are going really, really hundreds and thousands of years backwards. This is just beyond me. Now we are going forward with all these, I don't know, birth production type of machineries or whatever. This is just unbelievable to me. So what I also would like to say to the final note is that, and I will make a video, and thank you for voting. You guys 100% voted that you are interested in knowing why I quit Twitter, and also what I think about Elon Musk. And I can say so many things about that guy, and everybody who knows me know that actually what I'm thinking about that guy. I made it public 1,000,000 times on Twitter, but before I quit. But anyway, so but when I will talk more about in the why I quit Twitter video, but I would like to be, please, these days are extremely abusive. Social media, and it is extremely abusive. People are all over. Everybody attacks each other. Everybody abuses each other on social media. So everybody will be now on streets. There will be, I expect the United States to be chaotic, like anger again, and this social media will go on fire again. People will attack each other and people will hate each other. And who will be the winners? The social media companies will benefit from that. Okay, so never forget that. The more people fight on social media, the social media companies get rich and we get sick. The people get mentally sick. People, all its mental health, suicides, everything increases. But who gets rich off of that? Who benefits off of that? Who benefits off of our mental health sickness, of our chronic sickness, of our fights? social media companies. Think about that. And politicians. Social media companies and politicians, media companies, these television companies, these people get rich when we fight on social media or on the streets, when we kill each other, when we fight each other, when we abuse each other. Then be careful, please. If you discuss that stuff, just be easy, calm down, and just know the facts, know what you're fighting for, know why, and just don't dive into any kind of, hatred. Just if you just want to discuss with facts, but don't push. Don't push the buttons. Don't just just fight each other on social media. Go with facts. Know what it means to have reproductive rights. Know that. And again, I don't care about any party. I don't care about the social media. I don't care about the media. I don't care about any parties, any politicians. For me, what I do care about is women, their health, our rights, our freedom, and it is our body. It is our right. We can do whatever we want if it's our health. And only the men and the women who make the baby can decide, and the doctor can decide what is good for the person. Not a government, not a politician. Period. Period. Know the facts. It's nothing about politics. This is about healthcare. And people who are rich will be able to go to other countries. People who are poor will unable to do so, and they can even die. Okay? This is what it means. This is what's all about. This is, again, inequality in healthcare, inequity in healthcare, and what I care about is equality in healthcare and healthcare equity, period. Have a good night. Bye-bye.